Right. It says we're live. Guys, welcome. It is Homestead HQ. Uh, Give me a two before in the chat. It shows we got four people, and y'all have been commenting in here. Let's see. BS was first one in here. Hag Homestead was second. Uh, Komodo Bear Actual said he's the last. And then Dana with Russell Homestead's in here. Guys, welcome. Shelly does not feel good tonight. So she texted me a little while ago. She was like, I'm sick. Can you do the show by yourself or get somebody to come on? I was like, I'll just take care of it. So Shelly usually on Wednesdays takes care of the thumbnail, takes care of the topic, and do all that fun stuff. Homestead Twins, hey, what's happening? Hey, I need to email you that stuff, and we need to talk again. So I will shoot that to you. I got to get it from Shelly, one of the graphics, and then I'll shoot it up to you. But yeah, typically Shelly takes care of the topic and the thumbnail, and then she was like, I didn't hear from her yesterday. And then she texted me today. She's like, I'm sick. Can you do it? And I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, we'll wing something. So I will have to be good because she keeps me on a semi-short leash or kind of gives that look of if I'm going too deep on something. So because we are on her channel also too, I don't want to get her in trouble. If I get myself in trouble, it's my own fault. So we'll do that. Bill's here. Good morning or good evening or whatever it is. Heck, I don't even know. Today's Wednesday. I know that because I just got done with church doing XBG, the Extreme Bible Games with the kids, all that fun stuff. So I thought of something that I was driving up here. First, if y'all have a topic you want to talk about, put it in the chat. We'll talk about it. If I don't know anything about it, I'll just be like, I have no idea. Or I will tell you what little I know on that. I don't know everything about every subject. But if y'all have a subject you want to talk about tonight, put it in the chat, and then we'll kind of go over it. Because I'm winging it tonight. I didn't prepare anything. I'll be honest with you. Greg Skeens, good evening. All right. I thought of something when I was driving up from church. I want to know, and we can talk about this, what is your biggest frustration with homesteading or preparedness stuff? So what's the biggest frustration, the biggest roadblock that you hit when you're doing preparedness stuff or when you're homesteading? Do that. I would like to know what that is at everybody's place. I mean, one of my biggest things, honestly, is time. Time is a big thing. I mean, time is the one thing we can never get back. We can get back gear and supplies and guns and all that stuff. We can get money back if we lose a bunch of money. We can always make more money. We can always go buy more freeze-dried foods. We can always go buy more medical gear, more guns, all that stuff. But the only thing that we can never get back is time. So that's honestly your most valuable resource. So time management and getting more time to do stuff. That is one of the biggest things that I struggle with is like, boom, it's like, man, you look up, you've been busting hump all day and you look up and it's like 5 o'clock and you're like, crap, I've not gotten everything done that I wanted to get done today. I'll be honest with you. Usually my wife and son go to bed fairly early, 8:39, something like that. So a lot of times after 9 o'clock, I come down here and I do a lot of business stuff, whether it's my contracting business or whether it's my KSL, that part of the business. I'll do a lot of that stuff, prepare for shows and everything like that. So it's constant struggle. I would love to spend more time doing homestead stuff. It's one of those things. It's like, man, it kind of gets pushed to the side sometimes, but we make time for it on the weekends. A lot of times we'll do a bunch of stuff like that. And BS says land management / utilization. Yes, that is a big thing. Stephanie, good evening. And I will probably say good morning some, but it's just going to be a habit. And it's funny, like at church, typically, you go to church on Sunday morning, you're talking to everybody and you're like, good morning, good morning. And then I've done it on so many occasions, Wednesday nights you show up to church and somebody's like, hey, how are you doing? I was like, I'm doing pretty good. Good morning. And I'm like, oh crap, it's night. So it's like good evening. But BS says land management and utilization. Yeah, that's a big thing. It's like utilizing the land. How much do we need to take for this animal? How much we take for this? And utilizing the property. Do we need to build more buildings? Stuff like that. Keeping your pastures in check, not overgrazing, or having too many animals. Your stocking density doesn't get too high, that you keep enough stuff like that. That is a big thing. It's like, I would like to have more space to do stuff. I would love to have a bunch more acres, but luckily the neighbor next to me, I've got like 4 acres that we're running the sheep on. I don't have them on it right now, but I'm going to try to get them over there this weekend if I can get some fence fixed up again. They ran through it the other day. Let's see. Homestead Twin said time and project management. Yes, time is the one thing we can never get back. And then project management. Sometimes, to be honest with you, sometimes I'm horrible about project management. Like my contracting jobs, we're on point with that. It's like we're getting this stuff done. But stuff around here, it's like sometimes it seems like it takes days and weeks and months dragging on. I've got so many unfinished projects, and it's like, as soon as I get time to do it, I'm going to, but everything else just kind of gets in the way. It's like, man, we got church tonight. We got to do this. I've got to go do this, baseball, something like that. It always just kind of comes up, and some of your projects just get pushed off. You gotta take the time to, schedule out time. It's like, hey, Saturday, from 7 to 12, I'm working on this project. I'm not going to do anything else. It's like, hey, we're going to do this, and just carve out the time to do it. Let me see. Tommy says, I've found that often it seems like one big pissing contest. If you don't know something about a weapons platform or a way of water filter or planting seeds, I'm made to feel inferior somehow. Tommy, I've not seen you in here before. I'm glad you're in here, though. But yes, and it does. It does get into a pissing match. And I've seen people fuss and fight over stuff. And it's like, I can't believe that you don't know about X, Y, and Z gun. It's the latest, greatest thing. And it's like, man, there are so many gun platforms out there. I don't think anybody's 100% expert in all of them, but a lot of people will blow smoke up your butt about it. It's like, oh yeah, that gun's just junk. I wouldn't own that gun to save my life. I can't believe it. It's only, it won't do 2 MOA at 100 yards. It's crap. And then, water filters, stuff like that. It's like everybody thinks that this is the best water filter. If you don't have it, you're stupid, all this stuff. I've got a ton of different water filters. They've all got their place. And it does. One of the big things with the prepping community, people want to run people down all the time. And it's like, this guy's a joke. He's talking about stupid stuff, or this guy's talking fantasy land and everything. So it's kind of pick and choose on what you want. Take the nuggets out of each person's stuff and look at it that way. Nobody's going to know. Like planting seeds, I don't know every seed that you can plant. And I'll make it perfectly clear. I don't know all that stuff. I am not an expert gardener by any means, but I can get some stuff to grow. But I don't know every germination rate on every seed and how long it's going to take before we can harvest it. And it does. I don't feel inferior with it. And I'll flat tell people, it's like, I have no idea. Somebody will say something about, oh, we planted this type of so-and-so. And I'm like, I've never heard of that before. And it's like, the big thing is like, own up. If you don't know about it, be like, I don't know anything. Teach me some of this. And if somebody makes you feel inferior, be like, man, you're a turd. I'm not going to listen to you. Let's see. Homestead Twins say, everything takes much longer than I expect, especially building anything. Yes, I build stuff all the time, and I can plan out and be like, it's only going to take this long to build this, and it does. Sometimes it takes twice as long, especially if you're trying to film anything. And people say this all the time. It's like, I would film more stuff, but it takes twice as long to film it as it does to actually do it. And that is 100%. I mean, I could do a video on an iPhone and all the details on the iPhone. It's going to take twice as long to do that video as just to show somebody about the iPhone. And it does. It takes forever sometimes to do stuff. And Bill says, permanent fencing. I still haven't got all my perimeter fence completed, and it's been 4 years this June. Bill, don't feel bad. I just got all my perimeter fence done probably 2 years ago, and it took me a long time to get all of it done. Fencing is one of those things, if you don't have all the tools that the fence guys do, it takes a hot minute to do it. And around here, we got so much clay and rock, like the last part of my fence we had to put up. I didn't want to clear the fence row out, but I wanted to get it as close to the fence row as we could. I went down there with the tractor, and this is summertime. I mean, the ground's hard. It's dry. I went down there with the tractor and my post hole digger, set the auger down on the ground, and, man, it literally just sat there and spun. And I'd pick it up and slam it down on there trying to get a bite. And literally it sat there and spun and just got hot and actually, like, burnt the clay. So I called my buddy. I was like, hey, I need to borrow your post hole auger for your Bobcat. And he's like, it's sitting at the shop. Come get it. So I did that. And but yeah, your perimeter fence sucks. I would not, even if I had all the equipment, that is a job that I would not want to do, is putting up fence all day. It's just one of those things. There's not many jobs that I'm like, I totally despise, but perimeter fence, I despise doing. Let me see. Dana says, building structures, large projects. I can get so far by myself that I'm at mercy waiting on hubby to find time to finish what I've started. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that. I mean, my problem is I can build all the stuff, but it's like finding the time to do it. And they always say, you know, you've either got the time but not the money, or you've got the money and not the time, kind of thing. So it's one of those. It's kind of a catch-22. And what I'll do is save up a bunch of money, and then it's like, hey, we're going to sit down and do this. So I want to add on to my shop. That's one of the things I would love to do. It's just I don't have the time to do it right now. I want to add on and make the shop bigger is one of my goals this year. Greg News here. Evening, Greg. Greg doesn't usually get in here super early because he's usually taking people back home from church, I think. So, and let's see. Yes, Bill. Ryan was just saying we got a chance of tornadoes tomorrow. So there's supposed to be, I don't know exactly what time this rain. We're going to have rain for like 2 or 3 days. 2 or 3 days this week, and but there's supposed to be a slight chance of some thunderstorms, some pretty bad thunderstorms, and maybe some tornadoes. I have not watched his last video, so I'm going to check it probably after this and see what's going on. And let me see. BS says, Tommy, I'm in the same boat. Just looking for guidance and advice without the condescending. You don't know that comments. I try not to be, and my whole philosophy on talking to people and telling people about homesteading preparedness stuff, my philosophy is, and I've said it, time is one thing you can't get back. If someone asks me anything from a basic question to an advanced question, if I know about it, I will sit down. If somebody asks me how to start prepping, I will set them down and give them some steps and stuff like that. It's be like, hey, you really need to start doing this. You need to, here's some steps on it. And then they'll come back and ask me, and I'll check in on them. It's like, have you done these steps? And if they've not done it, then it's like, okay, what's the problem? Why have we not done this? And, they'll tell me something. And typically, if they've not done it by the second time I've sat down and talked to them, I'm kind of done with them. But as long as somebody's moving and staying on the course, if it's like, a few weeks later, they're like, hey, I've done this. It's amazing. I'm figuring this stuff out. I will spend numerous amounts of time talking to those people about it and getting them to go. As long as people are putting effort into it, hey, I will talk to you and guide you through this. And I will tell you when I don't know something, and I'm not going to be, condescending about it. I can't believe you don't know about the new SIG rifle that they put out and this new Vortex optic and all this. And I can't believe you don't know about this new water filter. How stupid are you? You've been living under a rock, something like that. I'm not going to do that to somebody unless they ask a super, super stupid question. And typically they don't. Greg said it's movie night and they skipped church. All right. Since we got a break in comments, we'll talk about a few other things. Keep the comments coming. That's what we're going to do. If we don't have comments tonight, we're going to end the show early. So this is what y'all want to talk about. So put comments in. The more comments I've got, the more we're going to talk and the longer we're going to go. So keep sticking the comments in there. If we don't get a bunch of comments, like I said, we'll end early tonight. But I will remind y'all, first, festival tickets. Go to the website, get your festival tickets. It's KentuckySustainableLiving.com. I'm putting new speakers and new workshops going on. I think right now, I'll have to check my notes. Let me see on my notes. It looks like we've got about 18 different workshops we're doing, and we're sitting right now at about 10 speakers. So I've got more to add on there. I'm waiting for people to get me pictures, bios, that kind of stuff. So as soon as somebody sends that to me, I pop it up there as a new speaker or a new workshop. But you can get your tickets on there. It's going to be some fun stuff. One of the ones I'm looking forward to is Enos Zook. He lives in the next county over. He does trapping. He's a super good guy doing trapping. He's going to do a trapping workshop for us. He's actually going to show you how to put some sets out, set your traps on there, and do all that. He did one. I think he did our very first festival when we first started this, and people were like, "That was stinking awesome." So go by, get your festival tickets, and while you're getting your festival tickets, you can pick up a festival shirt. The festival shirts are 10% off when you buy your tickets. If you want to do that, get it and get a festival ticket or a festival shirt for 10% off. And then we've got the radio. Well, we'll go by date. The pig processing workshop is going to be March 21st. That's here at my place. The pig is going to be alive that morning, and then by the afternoon, he or she's going to be in VacMaster vacuum seal bags ready for the freezer. So we're going to show you every aspect of that. We'll show you how to get all your awesome pork chops, how to get ribs cut out of it, all that stuff, how to grind the sausage and season it, how to start curing your bacon. If you want to cure the bacon, we'll show you how to start curing that. We can't show you all of that in one day because it takes a few days to do it. But that's going to be March 21st. You can get your tickets on the website. Sheep processing class is going to be April 11th. That's going to be here at my place. We're going to do 2, possibly 3 lambs that day. It just depends on how it goes. Well, I've got 3 that need to be put in the freezer. I know we're going to do 2 at least. But you can get tickets at the website on it. That's April 11th. And then the highly anticipated and probably one of my favorite workshops that we usually do is going to be the communications workshop. Brian and Susan are coming up from Mississippi. It's S&B Homestead Radio. Brian and Susan are amazing teachers. There's going to be a little bit of PowerPoint, but not a whole lot. But we're actually going to be outside setting up antennas, working on the radios, playing with those. And it's like Brian calls it, playing radio. So I told him, I was like, I want to set radios up, use these radios, show the people, see what kind of range we can expect on expedited antennas, whether we're doing UHF, VHF, or HF stuff. I want to throw up an expedited HF antenna and show the guys like how far you can get out with just an antenna like 7 feet off the ground. It's pretty stinking cool. You can throw up. I've got my HF antenna is set up in an Invis configuration where it's for regional communications. I have no desire to talk to somebody in Europe, Asia, anything like that. It's like I want just regional comms from my place. I set that antenna up. It's probably about 8 to 9 feet off the ground, strung in between 2 trees. And I was hitting, and I'm in Kentucky. I was hitting Michigan. I was hitting down south of Atlanta and every state around it. So So I mean, it's cool. You can get some range on that thing, and it's cool. You stick the antenna up, didn't take hardly any time, and it was set and ready to go. Hag Homestead, good morning. Mike Shepard is driving home from work, and good evening, Mike. And Bill said tonight's the first time I've been bombarded with advertisements. I will have to look and see why they're doing that. Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. Sorry, Bill. Sorry you're getting bombarded with advertisements. We'll see if we can fix that. I don't know. Some of that I have no idea, and a lot of that stuff is YouTube doing that. I've got no control over that kind of stuff. So, and Dana says me too. All right, we'll work on that. I'll go in like in YouTube Studio and figure it out. Not that I really know what I'm looking for, but we'll see what happens. And BS wants to know any knowledgeable resources for off the grid solar. There is. Oh man, what is that guy? Let me see if I can find him. Let me pull it up. There's a boy that's been doing. He's been doing solar for a long time, and a lot of his stuff is off the grid. Let's see. Let's do solar panels. Well, I'll tell you, one place is the Solar Lab. They do a lot of different stuff. And let me see. Oh, yeah. This guy is DIY solar power with Will Prowls. He's a younger guy. He's been doing videos for a long time. But it's DIY solar power with Will Prowls, and then the Solar Lab. Those are two that I've watched before. I know a decent amount about off-grid solar. I've got all the components to set it up. It's just not all put together yet. So I've got it. That's one of the things, running out of time to do stuff and time management. It's like all the stuff is sitting there. It's just not everything's been put together. Like literally the panels are there, the batteries are there, the inverter is there, and all my cables and connections, everything's sitting there down in the shop ready to go. It's just like I have not had time to do it. Right now, what I'm using for solar is I've got an Anker. It's an Anker 3800 solar generator is my big one. I've got it, and then a set of panels that I can fold out to charge it. That, and then I've got some smaller solar generators, some stuff. Like this is a small little Anker. It's only, let me see, it's only 192 watt hours. It's cool. I picked it up on Amazon. They had it like on a flash sale, like 50% off, and I'm like, man, for the money, I was like, that thing is awesome. I went ahead and picked it up. And then I picked one up from and it's a little bitty old thing. It ain't but about like that big. I picked it up at Sam's. The other morning I was in Sam's, and they had like one left and put it on clearance. And I think it was like $50 or something. It's a small little off-brand solar generator, and I forgot how big it is. But it came with a little 30-watt panel. It's small enough that you could throw it in a backpack and carry it around. And you can charge your phone. I think it will charge a laptop too, but I'm not 100% sure. But it was a pretty nice little deal. Let me see. Ken Squatch, when raising chickens, what are some common diseases or health issues to watch out for? Some of the stuff you got to watch out for is mites. Make sure they've got a dust bath to where they can go clean themselves off and do that kind of stuff. Bumblefoot is another one. And Jessica, I've got to put the video up. Jessica, one of Shelly's daughters, she did one of the workshops we did, one of the homestead meetups. She did a whole presentation on chicken stuff, and I've got it recorded. We just not had time to do any editing, anything like that. So once I get it, she did a real good presentation on that. So Bumblefoot is one of the big things. And then also, Eggbound is one of those. Honestly, with chickens, I've not had too big a problem. The biggest problem I've had that I've had for it is predators. There's There's hawks around here. We've had problems with hawks. We've had problems with an owl. There's a monster owl that hangs around here, and he is taking a bunch of chickens. But that's the biggest problem that I've had with chickens is that. But I will get, and I'll make it a point, and I'll write a note. I have made a note, and we will get that thing edited and get it up soon. And let me see. Let's see. And Bill says Shelly probably makes that happen just to mess with Jason. I don't know. She might be doing it, but I don't know what's going on with the ads. We'll kind of see. I'll get into YouTube and play with it. And Homestead Twin says Will knows his stuff. Yeah, I've watched a lot of Will's videos, and man, that kid started out and he was just doing like little bitty small stuff, like in an RV or something like that. And now he's got, I think he's got like a whole warehouse and house and stuff. He's doing all these things on building bigger systems and stuff like that. And it's pretty cool. He knows his stuff, and I've watched a bunch of his videos. And Bill wants to know, does anybody have any suggestions for the best storage batteries? I will tell you this. Everybody is going with lithium batteries, the lithium batteries. They've got the advantage with the lithium over the lead acid batteries is you can draw the lithiums down a lot farther than you can the lead acids without damaging those. So essentially you get more capacity, more usable capacity out of it. But the lithium batteries are expensive compared to a lead acid battery. I mean, you can go, I hadn't bought any batteries in a while. Shoot, let's look it up. Let's see what Sam's has got. Let's see what Sam's has got for lead acid batteries. I hadn't bought a battery in a while. If it'll bring it up. Let's see. Let's see. Deep Cycle Marine battery. All right. Here, and this is the first thing I pulled up. You're looking at a group 27. This is a Duracell Deep Cycle Marine battery. They're 9932 for that. Probably like a 100 amp hour battery, somewhere around in there. And then if you look at the same thing, depending on what battery you buy, stuff like that, and what brand, like Battleborn batteries are super expensive. They've got some other brands like Redodo, and Redodo's one of them. There's a couple other battery brands that are relatively inexpensive. So just look at it. It depends on what you want to do. I've got lead acid and I've got lithiums. One big thing that I talked to Brian and Susan that do S&B Homestead Radio in Mississippi. When all the snow and ice and all that stuff came through and all the cold temperatures, I talked to Brian. They were without power for several days. And I was talking to him. He was like, man, he said, everything went great. He said, the bad thing was, he said, those lithium batteries crapped out because of the cold. And that's one of the big things. The lithium batteries, unless you've got one that is going to self-warm itself, and they've got the heated batteries, but that's just more expensive. And then you're taking power out of the battery to keep it warm. The lithium batteries, once they get so cold, they will not charge, and you cannot use those things. They've got like a thermal shutdown on them. And Brian was like, that's the only problem we had was the batteries got too cold and we couldn't use them. So that's something to think about. And then also one thing I ran into with the lithium batteries is if you run them down too far, a small charger will not work. You've got to have a lot of amperage going in that battery at once to get it to come back up. I've got one lithium that I'm going to have to do something with. I drained it down too far too many times, and it will not take a charge right now. So look at that. L2 Survive, what's up, man? Glad you got in here. And the Homestead Twins were wanting to know what size and how many. Let me see. Yeah, that's another thing is don't use cedar bedding. It'll cause respiratory stuff. I honestly, I use wood chips, and most of the wood chips we've got around here are not cedar wood chips. Very rarely you'll come across very many cedar wood chips. I've used just regular wood chips that we get from the tree trimming places that we use for our beds and everything. Use that. Some people use straw. I don't really like using straw. I've used it a couple times before when I didn't have any chips, or you can go buy the chips from Tractor Supply, and those things work good. Ken Squatch, you're welcome. Let me see. BS says, I just had a weird experience with stargazing with a chicken. Getting some weird vitamin deficiency, loss of sight, and constantly looks up. Yeah, have some minerals out for those chickens, especially like calcium and stuff like that. People will take the eggshells and crush those up and feed them back to the chickens, just the eggshells, and they can get a source of calcium with that, or oyster shells. People will do that. Let me see. BS says, I just bought a DJI power bank, and you can buy as many and daisy chain them together. I've not seen those. I'll tell you what a lot of people are doing, and I kind of want to get some of these, is the server rack batteries. The cool thing about the server rack batteries is they're all like a modular design, and you can buy the cabinet to where you slide these jokers in, and they've got some really good storage capacities, and they're relatively cheap. It kind of depends on what you want to go for, whether you want to do lead acid or if you want to do lithium. I've got a little bit of both. They're not tied together or anything. They're different things that I use them for. And I tell you, a lot of times I'll run my ham radio equipment just on a lead acid battery. And I would hook a charger on it every now and then when it was getting low, and kept it in the ham shack. And it's worked really good. If you're running HF, and running 100 watts on HF, it'll drain a battery down pretty quick. And you might want to have a couple of them, chained together. Bill said, I have one case of Bumblefoot that came with my chickens, but not have a reliable source for galvanized wire for them to walk on is a major contributor to Bumblefoot. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Yeah, and Mike is off grid, and Mike's got a nice solar system on his house, and the LiPo batteries are safer and better than standard lithium. And the EG4 batteries and inverters are awesome. Yeah, I forgot what my lithium batteries are that are down in the shop. My lead acid batteries, honestly, are the Duracell that I bought at Sam's Club. I mean, Sam's had the best prices on them. That, and I've got a couple Walmart batteries, whatever they are, the Energizer, the Everready or whatever. And they seem to work pretty good. I've got several years out of those jokers. Yeah, and BS says when it gets cold, they won't charge. Yeah, that's one thing you've got to look at. And so that's the biggest complaint that Brian said about it. And L2 Survive, Battleborn batteries are not only expensive, they're dangerous. I've not dealt with any Battleborn batteries. I've never had any dealings with them whatsoever. I've seen them on the internet, and I just looked at the price, and I'm like, holy crap, those things are expensive. I think they're made in the U.S., and they do that, but I didn't know that they were dangerous. I'd like to know what's wrong with those. Let me see. Bill says, I need storage batteries for my DIY wind turbine I'm designing. Bill, if you're going to play with it, I would play with it and just go to Sam's or go to Walmart and buy a $99 lead acid battery and try it out and see what works. It might work good. It might not. I'm a fan of both, honestly. And Bill says, I'll be pushing 35 amps to the storage batteries. I'm hoping to be able to power the house with my system. You're gonna need a pretty good system to power the house. As far as storage power, look at that. Build you a good system, and then also looking at getting. You can piecemeal everything together on it. You can buy your charge controller for it. You can buy your power block, all that stuff. You can buy your inverter and then piecemeal everything together and make sure all of it works together. or you can buy, they make, and this is what I've got. I've got one of the all-in-one inverters. A bunch of different companies make those things. I forgot what brand I've got, but this essentially what this does is it puts the solar charge controller together. It puts your inverter together and any of your fuses and stuff. It's all in one package that you mount on the wall. And the cool thing about it is it will do, you pick out what voltage you want, whether you want to do 12 volt, 24 volt, or 48 volt. You pick the voltage that you want for your battery bank. And then it's got the built-in charger for it. Mine does, to where I can plug it up to grid power and it will charge my battery bank for me. So essentially you could keep it plugged up all the time. If you're going to use it just for emergencies, you could keep it plugged up all the time. So your batteries are always topped off. And then if the grid goes down, essentially you unplug that and then you can hook your solar panels up. So you're starting from 100% all the time, or 99 or 98%. You're starting there with everything in your storage bank. And then you stick your solar panels out there just to keep everything going. But to power a whole house, you're going to need a pretty good battery bank with that. Ken Squatch says, I got wood chips and I do oyster shells. We do both. And BS says, DGI is similar, not really cheap though. I've not seen anything about DGI. We bought, most of the stuff I bought's been from Signature Solar, and they run some pretty good deals. And then some of the panels I've got have been off Marketplace. I got a bunch of panels from Marketplace, and the guy was, he had pallets of them, and he bought them cheap, and they were brand new, still sitting on the pallet. So I bought a bunch from that guy. Let me see. The Twin is running a 24 volt system in a rack. He said in hindsight, he'd do 48 volts out of the gate. Yeah. And you've got to look at it. One of the things is the lower the voltage, the bigger the wire that you're going to need to carry that amperage. So as you go up in voltage, the smaller the wire that you're going to have to deal with to carry that same amperage. So think about that. My inverter that I did is a 24 volt, and I really wished I'd done 48, just where you can save money on your wire, because copper's not cheap, and we know that. But look at that. I would say go with a 48 volt if you're going to do it. In my opinion, hindsight, I wished I would have done a 48 instead of a 24, but that's what I've got, and that's who I'm going to dance with, because I'm not going to sell it and start over. And he's currently off grid, so everything goes through solar. Ken Squatch, you're going to need 240 volts or 220 volts to run that well pump. Most of those are 220. It all depends. It's one of those things. It's going to depend. You've got to look at the rating on the pump, your wattage, stuff like that, and then you're kind of going to have to take that and work backwards and figure that out. It's going to be, there's probably some websites that will generate that, but not knowing any of that stuff, you're going to have to go through and kind of back engineer that thing. But I would look, I guarantee you there's tons of people that know how to do that, and they probably got a formula for it. You could put in, hey, I want to run this. Here's my wattage, my voltage, all that stuff. And they're going to be like, you need X amount of panels and you need X amount of batteries for this thing, and do it that way. And BS says, that's what I want to do. Fully off grid, whole solar home. I would love a whole solar house, would be freaking amazing to do. I've thought about doing it, but I'm just like, man, it's going to cost so much money to do that. I just don't want to invest that right now. I think for me personally, a small off-grid solar stuff that would just take care of basic stuff in the house would be nice to have just for emergency purposes. If I ever move, I might look more into it doing all straight solar. Let's see. BS says, I was told you take your highest electric bill kilowatt and add 35% to determine capacity. That would probably be a pretty good plan, because you want a lot of backup in there, because you're going to have days where you're not going to have wind, you're not going to have sunshine, anything like that. So you got to plan on that. Some people will plan like 150% capacity on it. I know people will do that a lot. And then Stephanie said off-grid solar setup, off-grid well setup would be awesome. Yes, it would be awesome. And now there's some companies that do. They make well pumps that are specifically made for solar. So look at that. I forgot. I saw some. I was running through Instagram one day and saw some solar powered well pumps. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. They're pricey, but you kind of get what you pay for in some of that. L2 Survive. 6 server rack batteries will get you 30,000 watt hours, and that should run your home through the night and most houses for a day. Yeah, those server rack batteries are pretty stinking nice. I've been looking at some of those and kind of loathing over them. I was like, I could get like 4 of those and put down in the basement and have a heck of a lot of storage. So I don't know. We'll see. It's part of it's a money deal and part of it's a time deal, and then part of it is like I need to put money in some other stuff. I've got small solar that we can handle, but it's like how much money do I want to invest in that? So, one thing we've got, Greg New is coming up this weekend. Shelly's coming down this weekend, and Melanie's coming in, and we've got some continuing education medical training that we're doing Friday and Saturday. So we're going to be learning a few new things and going over some stuff that we already know, just some continuing ed stuff to keep us sharp and learning all kinds of new stuff. But we're going to be doing that Friday and Saturday. So maybe we'll have some video from that. That's some of the stuff we're doing with KSL to provide more opportunities for people to come and train with us and learn different things. So we're always adding to the stuff that we know and adding to our workshops we can do. And this is just one of them. So Friday and Saturday, we're going to be having fun doing some continuing ed medical stuff. And I'm looking forward to that. Plus, I'm looking forward to hanging out with people that I don't see every day. Melanie's several hours away. Don't get to see her all the time. Greg's about an hour and a half away. Don't get to see him all the time. And Shelly's an hour away, so I don't get to see her all the time. But I talk to everybody on the phone, at least once or twice a week. So it's kind of cool. But it's going to be cool to hang out, probably go eat dinner Friday night and hang out with everybody, but I'm excited about that. So what other thoughts do we have? I have blown through everything I know what to talk about. If y'all have got anything else to talk about, stick them in the comments. There's like crazy stuff going on in the news, but it's like I don't really want to touch that. It's like I'm not even paying attention to it. I just keep my head down, keep on the course that I want to do and what I'm doing. And it's like, I've planned for most of this stuff. So it's like, I'm not super worried about it. If they're saying the U.S. is going to attack Iran or something like that, and they're sending naval carriers and all this stuff over, close something, they're going to be at the Strait of Gibraltar or something like that by Sunday or something. I'm like, whatever. I don't really care. Because if you're doing the preparedness stuff, it's like, don't get in a tizzy about this. Don't freak out about it. It's like you are preparing and you've got a plan for when some of this stuff happens. It's like, let's keep on doing it and, stay the course. Don't freak out. Don't go buy $10,000 of crap that you don't need on a credit card. And then next month when nothing happens, you're like, great, I've got $10,000 of crap on a credit card. And, it's a 26% interest rate. I have just blown my financial brains out. It's like, you screwed the pooch on it. Just stay the course and do that. BS said, I'm worried about keeping the battery racks in the house. We'd rather build a small conditioned outbuilding to contain all the components in case of catastrophic failures. All a dream at this point. That would be, if you did that, you could do, I think, Southern Prepper One built like a battery solar thing. I think it's been several years ago. He was doing that and keeping it insulated and conditioned. And I'm like, that would be the cool thing, because you hear a lot of times people, like there's been some people around here where they're charging their golf cart batteries and something goes wrong and the golf cart battery explodes and catches fire and just burns their whole stinking house down. So that would be one good thing to do. Let me see. L2 Survive. You may not care about the news, but the news is pretty interested in you. What news? I shouldn't be interested in anything. I should not be on the news, anything like that. So it's like what I was sitting at church today this afternoon, talking to one of the older guys that I always talk to. And one of the other guys came up and said, they're looking for y'all. And I looked at him. I was like, if somebody's looking for me, I said, I'm not going down without a fight. And he started laughing about that. So Stephanie wants to know what's silver looking today. Let's see. Let's pull it up. I have not looked. The last couple of days, it's kind of been like nothing fancy happening. It's going up, going down a little bit. Right now, it says silver is at $78, which is up $2.62. So it's at $78. If it goes down below 60, I'm going to buy a little bit more. So, all right. Let's see. Let's see. Bill says, I'm focusing on getting electric fence paddock set up to get the pigs separating and prepping for farrowing and new piglets. That's awesome. That'll be fun. New piglets are fun. So, Bill, just make sure that those piglets have got a spot to stay warm and a spot to get away from that sow, because she will roll over on those jokers and kill a bunch. So get that going just so you don't lose a bunch of them. I've lost piglets before because that sow rolled over on them and squashed them. Let me see. Ken Squash, any tips on stitching up cuts on livestock, or is it more advisable to call farm vet? If you know how to stitch one up, stitch one up. I mean, some of your injuries don't need to be sewn up right then. Some of them need to heal from the inside out. And then part of the problem too is on closing the skin up. If you've got bacteria and funky stuff down in there and you don't get everything out, you're closing that up and that bacteria cannot get out. So you're causing a major problem with that. If you're going to try to close something up on an animal, make sure you clean it out and disinfect it and the animals are down there in the grass, the mud, the poop, the pee, all that kind of stuff. So make sure that thing gets super cleaned out if you're going to try to close it up. And one of the things I've learned is staples. And one of the reasons they use sutures is because sutures are not going to leave such a big scar on there. If you staple something, man, that staple is going to leave a scar. Personally, I've been stapled. Shelly and I we're taking a medical class like 3 or 4 years ago, and the guy was showing us about staples. And Shelly's like, how bad do they hurt? And I was like, here, staple me. And man, no faster. And I said, here, try it out. She grabbed that thing and bam, bam, hit me with 2 staples. And I'm like, that wasn't that bad. Staples, anybody can do it. If you can get the skin closed and essentially close your hand, you can staple something. I've got a lot of staplers in my arsenal of medical stuff. I've never used those on it. We've never had an animal that was injured bad enough to require sutures or staples. I've always clean the wound out real good and then just wrap it. If it's bleeding, we'll put like a gauze pad on it, like an AB pad, put it on there and wrap it with Coban. And if you don't know what Coban is, I've got some right here. Coban, it's called Sensor-Wrap. You can buy it on our website, or you can buy it. They got it at Tractor Supply. Everybody calls it horse wrap, something like that. That stuff works good. It sticks to itself and it won't stick to the skin, but it stays on pretty good. Let's see. L2 Survive, the economy, rights, and laws. I've looked at it some, but it's like, man, I just don't. I've looked at some of the stuff and I'm just like, man, it kind of makes me go sideways. And I'm like, we'll look at this stuff later. I mean, I know there's always some kind of crap going on. And of course somebody said today, the files that have been out and everything, it's like, just watch, we're going to go to war. And then it'll flip the script on everybody. Nobody will be talking about the files that are released and all these horrible, nasty people that are in our government doing all this stuff. And it's like, oh, we're going to war now. So everybody will forget about that. And then everybody will be like, oh my gosh, we shot missiles at Iran because they were doing something they weren't supposed to. And then Forrest said, yeah, I heard there's a pretty good homesteading festival in Bowling Green. Yes, the festival is July 17th, 18th, and 19th. It is going to be freaking amazing. I am super excited about it. This is probably going to be the best one and the biggest one yet. So get the tickets at the website. They're $45. Kids get in free. If you're 17 and under, the kids get in free with adults. I mean, if you're looking at it, look at this. You know, a husband and wife and their 2 kids can come to this thing for $90 for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's not any, the only extra thing is, and we have not got it launched yet, is we're going to be doing a trauma management class. KSL is doing its own trauma management class. We're going to be doing that on Thursday. I will have that launched by next week to where you can get tickets for it. But if you come to the festival, the only thing extra on it, if you want to do the trauma management class, you can do that on Thursday. But your $45 ticket gets you in and access to everything. There's no upsells, no nothing. So you could come in for $45, spend all 3 days, and never have to pay for anything else unless you want to buy stuff from some of the amazing vendors. So that's the only time you're going to have to spend any money. Or if you want to buy a bunch of cool raffle tickets, because I've got some amazing sponsors that are sending me products this year. Some of them are coming back. I've got some new ones. I just got a deal with one company, and once I get it in hand, I'm going to do a video for it because they sent me one to try out. So I'm going to try it out, and then we're going to have one to put in a raffle. So there's going to be some fun stuff going on at the festival this year. Let me see. Moto Bear, hey, he's back just working hard. Hope y'all are blessed. Thank you, sir. Let's see. Ken Squatch, war will drive up the price of silver, so I hear. Yeah, it'll probably drive it up. But I mean, silver is, I don't know. They control the markets on all that stuff, and it's like they're going to do what they want to do. We just got to sit back and take it like everything else. So. Oh, Michigan Silverback is late. He was probably out shopping and not putting his card up is probably what happened. So if you don't know, Michigan Silverback and I are in the camp of we don't put our shopping carts up. So everybody else is good people and puts their shopping carts up. Michigan Silverback and I are the hoodlums that don't do it and ding everybody's door when the wind blows. And Bill says staples are better on the farm than sutures. Yeah, staples are easy. I mean, all you got to do is push it down on there and squeeze it, and it pops a staple in. But remember, with the staples, you need a staple remover tool, because if you don't have that, it's a nightmare to get one of those things out. Let's see. BS says, I've got a buddy in Texas that just converted a Connex container into a butcher shop for hogs. He is processing a bunch of his own and just got the first contract to start butchering for farmers around him. That's cool. And yeah, man, if you took a Connex and made it into a butcher shop, that would be pretty stinking cool. I would get, if it was me and I was going to do a Connex, I would get one of the tall Connexes, because typically most of them are 8 foot. I think they call them a high boy maybe, or a high cube. I think they're like 9'6". I would want a 9'6" tall container. Because once you get some of those pigs, especially if you're going to do everything inside, some of those pigs, if you're butchering big pigs, they get long. That's for sure. I know that. Let's see. Ken Squatch, staples for the win. And Stephanie said, it's the most reasonable homestead festival prices I've seen. Yeah. That is $45 for all 3 days. There's no other upcharge whatsoever unless you want to do the trauma management class that we're doing and we're teaching on Thursday. That's the only other thing. You can come literally if you don't want to eat, you don't want to get a drink or nothing or buy anything for the vendors. It's $45 and you come in for all 3 days. And BS, yeah, $45 all 3 days will get you in. And L2 Survive. Yes, we've got activities for the kids and teenagers. They're planning all that. Barbara Sue and Philip Kowalski did that last year. Leslie, and I tell you what, Leslie with the School of Earth and All, she does a plant walk, and kids are more than welcome to do the plant walk. And she had a bunch of kids out there. She had every age group out there going on the plant walk. But Philip and Barbara Sue are probably going to do that again. They had a bunch of activities for the kids. But yeah, there's stuff for the kids to do. The kids can run around and have fun. I mean, there were kids running around doing all kinds of stuff, having fun. I had to get on a couple of them. I'm like, guys, don't jump over, because the place where we have it has an arena, and then it's got like stadium seating going down to the arena. And some of the kids were jumping over the seats and everything else. And I'm like, guys, I was like, y'all are going to fall. And I was like, we're going to have to use staples or sutures on you. And I was like, y'all don't want that. And they kind of laughed. I was like, just don't be doing that. But yeah, some of the festivals, I mean, I've been to some of the festivals. They nickel and dime you to death. It's like it's $69 to get in, and then if you want to go to this workshop, it's an extra $23, and if you want to go to this workshop, it's an extra $58. And it's just like, by the time you're said and done doing the stuff you want to do, it's like one person is a $400 weekend, and I'm just like, we're not going to do it. When we tell you it's $45, that's all 3 days. You can come all 3 days. You can come one day if you want to. Or if you walk in there for $45 and walk around and look at the vendors, I mean, there's going to be tons of vendors for that. Let me see. Forrest says, not returning your card is a gateway leading to DEI and blue hair. Hey, I've got gray hair and I'm not leading to blue hair. So I will take it. If you see me with blue hair and DEI, you know that Forrest was right. But I've been doing that for years, and I've not gotten blue hair yet. So, to survive, you should have night classes, night vision flashlights. Yeah, I tell you, I'm trying to get a night vision sponsor for this, and it is harder than you think to get somebody to sponsor it for night vision. But I would love to do a night vision class and a night vision workshop on it. It would be cool. I mean, Lindsay that runs the arena where we have it, it's like, she's like, we're cool with everything. She lets us get away with some stuff that we probably shouldn't get away with sometimes. So a night vision class would be fun. And Stephanie thinks that's a great idea. So, but guys, we're coming up on like an hour. My jaw is getting sore. Y'all have been amazing tonight. I guess Shelly will be proud because we didn't get down too many rabbit holes or anything that might get us in trouble. So all right, next time that Shelly's on here, next Wednesday, tell Shelly, Jason did a great job. He didn't go down any rabbit holes. He didn't get a strike on YouTube or anything like that. He kept it clean, didn't say any cuss words, didn't fuss, didn't talk about flat earth, didn't talk about us not landing on the moon, anything like that. So that, or you know how they take your pictures every time when you're at school every year, and they combine an album of, you know, who they would like to pick up and stuff like that. So we didn't go down any of that stuff. L2 Survive, you told me that you didn't have any money because you had to fix a car or something. But if you need, all right, L2 Survive, if you want to tell your wife that you need night vision to take, we could say, you could tell your wife, say, honey, the guy on the internet told me that you need night vision to take the dogs out at night. So, and if you don't have dogs, you need to buy some dogs. So first off, buy the dogs, and then then tell your wife you need night vision to take the dogs out. So you've got to do that. So night vision is the permission to buy anything today. And Stephanie's laughing at that. Stephanie, you can buy night vision too. Let's see what Bill says. Wait until your son gets a bright idea as a practical joke. He paints your hair blue-white while you're sleeping. We're not going to tell him about that. So that might be funny. But I'll tell you one of the funniest pranks I would play. I was in a fraternity when I was in college. I would get there like super early because I always schedule. I was like, I want to get done. I would schedule 8 o'clock classes. I would go in there if I've been drinking out all night or what, but I would go to 8 o'clock classes. But I would get to the fraternity house and I would go in the fraternity house. Everybody's asleep, and I would buy a bunch of Kool-Aid packets, and I would go through on all the showers or all the bathrooms, unscrew the shower head, and pack those shower heads full of Kool-Aid, different colored Kool-Aids, screw it back on, and then in the morning you could tell who got the first shower, because literally that Kool-Aid would get wet and come through the shower head, and literally somebody standing underneath there, and it just soaks them and they turn blue. And people never, well, it took them a long time to figure out who did it. But I mean, literally, I did that for like 2 or 3 years, just sneak in there once a week, unscrew the shower heads, pack it full of Kool-Aid, and screw it back on. And it was hilarious because nobody found out who did it for a while. So, but after they found out who did it, they got the keys to my truck one day, because when you would park at the fraternity house, you had to leave your keys inside in case somebody needed to move your vehicle for another vehicle to get out. They found out who did it and were mad. So one day when I was in class, my keys were there, and I came back to get in my truck, and I opened up my truck door, and the whole cab, they had packed it full of straw. They had taken straw bales, busted them open inside the cab, and just fluffed all this straw in there. So literally the whole cab was filled up with straw. And I was like, touche, you got me on that. And I tell you what, I drove that truck for another 2 or 3 years after that. And literally every time you would vacuum it out or clean it out or anything, there were still little pieces of straw in that truck. There's probably still pieces of straw in that truck. And I sold that truck a while back to one of my cousins. I guarantee there's probably still some straw stuck somewhere in that truck. So, all right, Bill's getting out of here. Bill, be safe. Guys, I appreciate everything y'all do, all the comments. Y'all have been amazing tonight. We're going to have to get y'all to do these comments more often. That's what I like. I like talking about different things and all that, and like talking to y'all. I appreciate all y'all commenting and being involved tonight. If you need anything, shoot me an email. Jump on the website if you need any first aid medical stuff. We've got some new products coming out. I just got a shipment of stuff in from a supplier we've got, and we've got some new kits coming out that I'm slowly putting together, figuring out what we want to do. We've got a kid kit that's coming out pretty soon. I got some of the stuff I needed for it in today. So I'm probably going to have that up on the website by the first part of next week. And we will have the trauma management class on the website soon. But if you need anything, let me know, guys. I appreciate y'all a bunch. And I will be back here Friday morning with an actual topic and not just winging it like I did tonight. But I tell you what, if y'all have the comments like y'all had tonight, I just won't even do the topic. We'll talk about whatever you want to. We might just do a free thing, and let's like y'all come up with a topic and we'll talk about it. So guys, I appreciate it. I will see y'all Friday morning. Y'all have an amazing night and an amazing day tomorrow. Also check the weather if you're in Kentucky, Tennessee, Indiana, because we might get some rough stuff tomorrow. Guys, y'all be good, and I'll see you soon. Good night.